When governing a country of 130 crore people, policymakers need to be wary of their reward and penalty systems, doing their due diligence to ensure that those who must be rewarded are at the very least not penalized. In a country where only 6.68% of the population pays direct income taxes and the top 10% controls more than 70% of the country's wealth, it is imperative that policymakers are mindful of this income inequality. At a larger level, this disparity is not just present in the individual income, but also on the distribution of the net proceeds from the union taxes, be it in terms of income tax, GST, excise, custom duty, etc., that is being sent out to the states. The Finance Commission determines the allocation of this union tax distribution to each of the states based on various criteria, such as you have your income inequality, you have population, area, forest cover, and a lot of variables like that. But this formula has been a matter of debate for quite some time, as some of these states have had consistently low returns, and some states have consistently been receiving more from the union government than what they actually paid. And this infographic really depicts that. A more updated version of it can be found on the uh, analysis of state budget that's being put out every year. But the most significant point of contention was the population. Until 2023, the Finance Commission was using population data from the 1971 census, which completely misrepresented the actual population. And states that have been successful in implementing family planning, therefore, have a lower population and therefore get a lower portion of the duties that they pay. If you looking at the infographic, we see that states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Haryana, for every 100 rupees paid in direct taxes, they get less than 20 rupees back. Whereas states like Bihar, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, for every 100 rupees that they pay in taxes, Bihar gets 770, Arunachal Pradesh gets a whopping 4,200 rupees for every 100 rupees paid in taxes. And the issue is that the states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, and all are now penalized by this law as lesser and lesser funds are available to these states for further development. And the other states like Bihar and Arunachal Pradesh and a significant portion of the Northeast, we see that these states that have not really implemented the planning policies tend to be relatively poorer, which means they consume less, in turn leading to less indirect as well as direct tax revenue for these states, which again means that these states have a higher reliance on the union tax revenue. From the outside looking in, one tends to think that the population increase only widens the base of the pyramid, but in fact, it also deepens it. For the families at the BOP, the wealth that is available to each successive generation of a family with more than two children worsens by a significant amount because the same amount of wealth is now distributed among three or four children. The growing population, both widthwise and depthwise, further pushes the Finance Commission's formula in the favor of the poorer states, inadvertently penalizing the more successful states. So the question then becomes, what do we do about this? Darren Acemoglu, the 2024 Nobel Prize winner for economics, wrote a paper that said institutions is a fundamental cause of long-run growth. So they argue that the distribution of power and by consequence the wealth is determined by the political and economic institutions and the distribution of resources. And this is all the more important in a post-colonial country like India, as a lot of these imperfect institutions were handed down to us by the British. And these institutions that were set up by the British were set up with the express intention of exploitation. And when you set up an institution for exploitation, there's no way it can handle any long run real growth. So, going forward, India needs to start investing in developing these institutions, be it administrative, economic, or political for that matter. A good example would be, let's say you take an administrative institution like the RTO, the Regional Transport Office. A more comprehensive license test would mean that insurance companies face lesser risk, the police department would need lesser manpower, road shipping becomes more lucrative, tourism improves, so on and so forth. All of these leads to better opportunities for people to learn and grow, which again would shorten the income inequality. And also, more income means more taxes to these states and a more even distribution of these resources across the various states of India. Thank you.